Yo, what's going on, Strength Society? This is your coach Alberto here. We're in week 4, and today we're going to talk about mindset and stress management, and as well as providing some sustainable solutions and to help transform your mindset. So we're going to go and dig right into this, but first let me move my head up here so you guys can see the text. All right. So first we're going to talk about is motivation and purpose. Okay. So motivation is great. It helps everyone to jumpstart their journey. I can sure use some motivation from every now and then. But let's go ahead and break down what motivation is all about. Simply put, it strikes at the core of our emotions to take action in particular moments in our life. Right? Motivation is a fleeting state that requires constant mental or emotional stimulation. Therefore, that feeling is always fluctuating depending on outward conditions, right? And motivation can be triggered in many ways, right? It could be externally. You want to look good in the bikini, right? You lose weight for a wedding, or you want to have flat abs, or maybe you watch, the Rocky video or Rocky movie. You feel motivated and pumped to go out and do a workout, or something internally, right? Exercise makes you feel good, right? So you want to go and get the workout. You want to get those endorphins. You want to get that rush, right? It helps you relieve stress. It helps you distract you from your work life, your work or your personal life, or whatever that may be for you. Okay, so that's what motivation is all about. But most important key here that motivation is fluctuating. It's a fluctuating state that relies on your emotions. Okay. Let's talk about purpose. My purpose serves for a long-term goal, right? Purpose may mean something entirely different to all of us as individuals, but in regarding fitness, purpose provides meaning, inspiration, and paints a bigger picture and how we want our health to serve us down the road, right? And people get busy. Our life pulls us in many different directions, but knowing your why and keep it in the forefront of our minds is a sure way to increase our wins. All right, and the purpose. Here are a few examples, right? You want to set an example for your kids, right? You want to break the family history of diabetes or any other health-related issues, or you simply want to remain healthy and slow the aging process down. So you see, having that deeper why, right? Having that purpose in the forefront of your mind is very, very important. In a way, you want to think of this being a little selfish, right? Especially those who have kids. Like you want to, it's hard not to be selfish because you want to put your kids out in front of you, but sometimes you got to give yourself some me time, right? And put in the work because, again, you're being an example for your kids and for your family in general, but also taking leadership for yourself and your health, right? And it's having that purpose. You want to do this for your kids. You want to be healthy for them, right? Or be something deeper than that, right? Whatever that may be, but you guys get it. You got to have that purpose behind your why, all right? But when it comes down to it, purpose is greater than motivation, right? Because motivation alone simply won't cut it for the long-term success. Reaching our fitness goals depends on having purpose and the discipline to stick with it regardless of how we feel. And that is 100% true. And sticking to it no matter, what wrong side of the bed I woke up on or how I'm feeling, I'm going to go out and do something, right? I'm going to go out and walk. I'm going to go out and do some abs. I'm going to go out and do some mobility drills or whatever that be. With 1% or 5% or 50% of effort, it's going to get me that much closer to my goals, okay? But as we always encourage our clients, we also encourage you guys to be effective managers of yourselves because your discipline comes from within. All right, and it's a function of your independent will. So you guys are capable of doing what needs to be done. You just got to go out there and get some, and that's what we provide you guys these bomb workouts. Make sure you go out and do it. All right, and take action. All right. So, but most importantly, maybe we all should align ourselves with our own deep values and the purpose we want to get out of our own health and fitness goals. That way, it can help us serve us in our life. And sometimes we lose sight of that. So, like I mentioned, keep that in the forefront of your mind so that you stay motivated and remind you why you're doing it. Okay? Just like you wake up every day, right, to go to work, you know your why, right? You got to keep a roof over your head. You got to keep food on the table. Where your health is just as important. Understanding your why, right? You get up and you do it regardless, and how you feel. All right, y'all feel me? Cool. So let's go ahead and move on. We understand, we define what both of those are, and Which one is greater than the other, right? Purpose. Next one we're going to talk about is giving up or gaining. This is all about the mindset, all right? So giving up, right? Having to give up mindset is, for example, here you set fitness goals, right? But as you can put your best foot forward, something keeps sabotaging your best intentions to reach them, right? It usually has to do with the negative self-dialogue we have with ourselves, right? Here are a few examples. I will never get good or strong at this. I might as well not try. I have a whole list of things to do this week. I don't have time to work out, right? Oh, I'm not able to push through my discomfort, right? You see, these are all just examples of negative talk, where we talk ourselves down, we justify our decisions, or we procrastinate, whatever that may be. That always expresses through our actions, right? But the good news is that you can actually change this limiting belief, right? When you do, you'll open up a whole new world of opportunities and make more progress on your fitness journey than you ever thought was possible. And that is true. And that's where we're going to jump into the next description here is gaining, right? It's the opposite of giving up, right? We have the mindset of winning, right? We're having the mindset of being optimistic and seeing what's possible, right? And this is shifting your mindset and believing in yourself, right? And making the impossible into the possible, right? And here are a few examples, right? You know that the weight will be challenging today, but it will get easier and feel lighter as you perform the exercises and you'll start performing the exercises with way more efficiency, okay? Even when it's not easy, you learn to enjoy the pain, the good pain, all right? And then you embrace the process and you are fully aware that this workout will bring you closer to your goals. Okay? So you trust the process, you believe in it, you believe in yourself, that as long as you put your best effort forward, that the results will come. Along with, well, of course, many other components like recovery and eating, all that jazz. But putting the work in when it counts, even that's a half hour, an hour, doesn't matter. You put in your best foot forward, and you are sure that you're positive about the outlook and what that will reward you down the road. Okay. Now, let's talk about limiting beliefs, right? Which leads to limiting your potential, right? Like kind of ties in with your giving up mindset, right? Limiting beliefs are exactly what they sound like. Right? By definition, they are beliefs that limit what you believe is possible for yourself to achieve. Right? Pretty straightforward, right? But there are amazing things that want to show up in your life, but when you have a self-limiting beliefs, those results struggle to show up because you often won't let them. I repeat that again. There are awesome things that want to show up in your life, but most of the time, you won't let them. Right, for the exact reasons I mentioned previously, right, for a variety of reasons, and some I just mentioned, right. So just keep that in mind, right. Each and every single one of you have the potential to reach that self ideal image that you guys are looking to achieve, either to get stronger or to look good. You all can achieve that. It's just a matter of, do you believe it? Okay, do you actually believe it? All right, so now we're going to move on to the next thing. I hope that was very helpful. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and bring those questions to the coaching calls on Friday. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is stress. All right, and how stress affects our body in different ways. You can see here we're going to talk about how stress affects the nervous system, our breathing, and then also some solutions how to manage our stress. Right, through meditation, qigong, yoga, and then also having enough sleep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so let's talk about how stress impacts the nervous system, which is very, very important. And a lot of people tend not to really understand how this works, right? And how the nervous system plays a factor in our overall health and immune system. So stress is a natural physical and mental reaction. Right? It's okay to experience stress from time to time, but when the stress levels remain elevated longer than they should, then you start running into problems. Okay? In fact, your nervous system is in charge of your flight or fight response, releasing adrenaline and cortisol. But when these hormones don't balance out and remain elevated, this leads to what is called chronic stress. Okay, chronic stress can lead to depression, anxiety, digestive problems, weight gain, headaches, sleep problems, you name it, right? It can affect all these components in your life and how your body responds. Okay, and these stress can be contributed to many factors: work, family, working out. I mean, there's a lot of things that can create chronic stress. Okay. All right. So the next thing is sleep. Okay. So sleep stress can take a toll on quality of your sleep. Indeed. Right. So sleep, because stress can really wreak havoc. If you haven't experienced that at this point, then you're good. You consider yourself lucky. But for a lot of us, especially with family and kids, they can be a little tough. But lack of quality of sleep can increase your stress even further. All right, because long-term sleep deprivation is no joke. All right, it would drain your mental abilities and daily function. All right, like your eating habits. Right, you go out and your stress levels are really high. You're gonna have a bad habit of making the wrong decision because your body's gonna seem like you need constant sugar or carb rush. All right, so you're going to eat anything in front of you. Okay, or you just have the lack of ability to restrain yourself from eating junk food. Okay, also weight gain. Right, when you're under constant stress, your body thinks is trying to save itself, so it will actually store fat just as a protective mechanism. Okay, and also have less overall energy. Right, with all these three combined, will equal less energized workouts, as well as having the mental bandwidth to even commit to your workout at that. Okay. But moreover, rest is critical to the recovery process because while you're resting, your body is building muscle. Right. This happens most efficiently during sleep. Right. Because without enough quality sleep, your body cannot fully recover from your exercise or your workouts. Okay. So exercise. Exercise is proven to improve your sleep. Okay. So as you can see, exercise is very, very important component to really get down, especially we have all the extra time in our hands these days. So definitely try to get as much sleep. This is crucial to allow your body to recover and rebuild all the tissues and repair, as well as balancing all your hormones and making sure that you have the right mental acuity to bring all that down. All right. All right, let's talk about some solutions. All right, so simple and efficient methods to reduce stress. All right, so let's talk about a few healing components. Right, self-healing is a stress management tool that can help minimize stress levels, improve your productivity, and recovery. Right, self-healing can take many forms and may or may not be combined with many spiritual practices. By learning to calm your body and mind, your physical and emotional stress can melt away. Right? This leaves you feeling better, refreshed, and ready to face the challenges of your day with a healthy attitude. Right? With regular practice over weeks or months, you can experience even greater benefits. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Right? Let's first talk about meditation. Right? Meditation has become one of the most popular ways to relieve stress among people of all walks of life. All right, meditation usually involves sitting in a relaxed position and clearing your mind or focusing your mind on one thought and clearing it all of others. Some forms may focus on sounds or your own breathing, right? Counting or a mantra or simply nothing at all, right? So meditation comes in many forms, whatever that takes. There's a bunch of them out there, but again, you go out there and choose what best works for you. There's plenty of resources out there on YouTube and books and ebooks and podcasts you can look for. But it really depends on what suits you the best. Okay. And then breathing. Breathing, another great method, right? It's a basic method which is to focus your attention on your own breathing, right? A practice simply called mindful breathing, right? This form of exercises can help revitalize you, reset your mind and body. All right, there are many ways to approach this, but here is to name a few. All right, and some of these I actually do them myself. I actually like these breathing methods, and you can pretty much do them whenever you feel like. Okay, you can do it when you're driving, you can do it while you're walking, whatever best suits your situation. All right, you have the stimulating breath or bellow breathing. You have relaxed breathing exercises, which usually has to do with, you're counting your breaths at certain points of your breathing. So, for example, here you breathe in for 4 seconds, you exhale. You breathe in for 4 seconds, and then you hold your breath for 7, and then you exhale for 8. Right, and those numbers can be changed depending on what you find most efficient for you. Right, or counting the breaths, right, or step counting breathing, which is one of my favorites. So basically, the step count breathing is so. So you count how many steps that you're taking. Like say you're walking, and I take 4 steps. Basically, I'm taking 4 steps to inhale, and then I'm taking 4 steps to exhale. So whatever pace I'm walking at, that's the pace I'm trying to stick with my inhale and exhalation. Okay, so I'm inhale for 4, inhale for about 4, exhale for 4, inhale for 4, and I can maybe do inhale for 2 and exhale for 2. I can do inhale for 8 or inhale or exhale for 8. Whatever works for you, but this is a great one to help clear your mind and focus on your breathing. Okay. And then the next one is Qigong. One of my favorites. This is kind of my bread and butter. This is what I like to do and enjoy to do. As you can see, I included the video link in the description box, so you're more welcome to check this out. This particular form here is called the 8 Pieces of Brocade, so I hope you guys enjoy that video. But Qigong can be described as a mind and body spirit practice that improves one's mental and physical health by integrating posture, movement, breathing technique, and focused intent. All right, there are many Qigong forms with each of its own practical applications and different theories. Okay, so mine simply is the 8-minute drill, the video I'm demonstrating here, because the 8 pieces of brocade, very effective, and you can do it at the park or at home. All right. And another popular solution is yoga. Right, yoga and other mind-body practices train your body and mind to be able to cope with stress better and improve overall health and well-being. Right, yoga also trains the body's nervous system, physical endurance, stamina, flexibility, and balance. Right, yoga is great for low activity and improves recovery. So this is also great too. You can implement yoga in between your workout days, or once a week, or maybe or every day. This is kind of a small, short routine that you can implement. But there are many forms of yoga, as all you probably know by now. But this is also a great outlet to implement and add to your tools of stress management. All right. So at the end of the day, any of these solutions are great for all walks of life. All right. It can be part of your daily routine, right, and help you build resilience to stress. Right. It can be a quick tool that can be done anywhere at any time to help you get centered when you're thrown off by emotional stress. Right. It can be a quick fix, stress reliever to help you reverse your body's stress response and physically relax. Right. It can drastically help for weight loss and improve your physical recovery. All right. And those are all the benefits that you can get out of these if you choose 1 or 3 of these options that I just talked about. But to keep it simple, try to focus on 1 for now, and then over time you can always add. All right. All right. Now let's talk about mindset. Right. Comparison, shouldn't or having versus wanting. Some things you can't control. Right, these are the things we're going to talk about. But the mindset is everything. And it kind of ties in with some things that we already talked about. All right, so comparison. Let me move this here for a second. Cool. All right. You've been following your workout plan and you're seeing results, but your friend at the gym seems to be making more gains. Right? You notice your neighbor dropped about 15 pounds while you're still focusing on losing 10, right? So even when you're making progress, you find yourself frequently comparing yourself to other people, right? At the gym, at the grocery store, on Instagram, or whatever. But it ends up leaving you feeling frustrated or discouraged, right? Does that sound like you? Maybe or maybe not. But instead, you should be focusing on comparing yourself to yourself, right? Like, how well you are doing compared to where you were a few weeks ago or months ago. Okay? So that's something you want to really think about and focus, which is easier said than done. I know. Right? Because comparing yourself to yourself will give you vital information on your own progress and how to get closer to your goals. That way you keep your focus on self-improvement, right? Because of course, making this behavior change may be easier said than done, like I just said. But for some people, it may be an ingrained thought pattern that needs to be unlearned with time and effort. But it is possible. All right, I repeat that again. For some people, it may be an ingrained thought pattern that needs to be unlearned with time and effort. All right, but ultimately, the key is to have the self-confidence in believing in yourself. Right, and that is going to be so true. You need to believe in yourself and what you're capable of achieving. Right, plain and simple. All right, now let's jump into shoulding and having to versus wanting. Right, a lot of times people base their goals on what they think they should or have to be according to according to who they see on TV, YouTube, social media, or even the expectations of friends and family, right? But the key thing is to create goals that you actually want. That is the key: is creating goals that you want and standing firm in your belief, right? No matter what other people say or what other people do. Okay, you got to focus on what makes you happy, right? And what's going to be self-fulfilling for you, right? You're going to recognize that everyone's path in life is different, and yours is the only one that matters. Right? I'll repeat that again. Recognize that everyone's path in life is different, and yours is the only one that matters. Okay, and that's the only thing you should be focusing on, right? Not shouldn't you be doing this, or how you have to do this because so and so is doing, or that person is doing. It doesn't matter. Their path is different from yours. You are unique. You are unique, and you require a unique approach to reaching your goals, right? And that's the kind of mindset that you should have, right? And that ties in with comparing as well. Like, you shouldn't compare yourself with other people. Focus on you. All right. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. All right. The next topic is some things are just out of our control, right? So the uncontrollable aspects that affect our fitness, right? So let's talk about some external stressors, right? I know we feel like we want to be in control with everything that's going on in our life, but it's simply not going to happen. Okay, so some examples of some external stressors that they're out of our control are major life events, right? Some things you just can't control. They happen, sometimes for the worse or for the better. Our work environment, we can't always control the people we work with, or a boss, right? Unless we're our own boss. Our children, right, and family. Sometimes things are out of our hand, right? Or school or politics or political news. Some things we just have to deal with, suck it up, and do the best we can with our situation, right? Some things we can't control is our genetics, right? Trainability itself has a genetic factor too, right? If you or your gym buddy follow the exact same program and starting at the exact same fitness level, one of you might end up stronger than the other, and that's true. That's fact, right? If they genetically have a body where they can develop more muscle tissue or build more strength, or maybe they have a good base of strength to begin with, you just can't help that, right? This is out of your control. Like I said, you just have to focus on doing your best, putting your best foot forward, and as long as you give it an honest effort, the results will come. You will eventually get stronger. You will catch up to that person, right? So, anyways, genetic factors is one thing you just can't simply overcome or something. And the next thing that ties into the genetic factor is our bone structure, right? Everyone is structurally built differently, so the lengths and widths of our frame will alter, our positioning and the way we move and the way we execute certain exercises, right? And that's another important factor as well. Like this person may do a great front squat, but this person may not because he can't sit into a squat all the way in, or he doesn't have the right length of his joints for his arms to hold the bar up in a nice clean position. There's a lot of things that go into that. Sometimes you just have to deal with it and just kind of move on and not get too caught up and stressed about these factors. Okay, I hope that makes sense, clear things up. But yeah, you just have to be just kind of grounded into understanding not everything we can control in our lives. And sometimes you just have to let it go and be as they may. You can definitely disagree on certain things, but don't just put all your marbles in one basket, okay, and let it ruin your day. All right, that's no way to go. So that's pretty much it for our mindset and solutions. I hope that was something you can take away from that. If you have any questions, again, bring them to our coaching call group, and we'll love to give you some personalized advice and help you along the way. Or you can comment below this video here if you can't make it to the calls, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. All right, so thanks for tuning in for week 4, and we'll see you on the next one.